Hey guys, it's Kat. I wanted to bring a video today because as you can see, it's snowing outside. I'm in love with the snow. So I put together a list of 5 different places in NYC where you can have a really great indoor dining experience in the winter. It's cold. It is so cold. But it actually can be a very nice, relaxing environment when done right. I mean, who wouldn't love the idea of watching snowfall from a heated, glass enclosure? It's like dreams. So what makes this list different is there are a lot of places right now where you could go in NYC, Manhattan specifically, and have a really beautiful experience. Problem is, waiting lists. Just because COVID is here does not mean that the best places are readily available when you want to go. A lot of these places do have 2-week waiting lists, maybe even more, 4 weeks. I've seen 4 weeks. So I wanted to get places that A, you can get an actual reservation to, and B, they're reasonably priced for New York. Let me put that disclaimer in there. Reasonable for New York, and I would say $30 or less a plate, but mind you, some of these places are sharing locations, so it would actually be a little bit cheaper than that. So place number 1 is Sushi Lab. I really liked this whole experience. First of all, the customer service was amazing, by far amazing. It's actually in the Sanctuary Hotel. It's a rooftop. It's completely enclosed, completely heated. You won't feel any cold drifting in from the outside. The view wasn't the best at Sushi Lab. I will start it off from there, but the way they make the ambiance seem so romantic and even spring-like in the middle of winter is amazing. So the sushi was decent and they have great drinks. I definitely recommend visiting during the day. Why? I don't know, something about it just gives me daytime spring vibes. Seeing the natural light come through, even though it's not the best view, it's a really nice experience. The sushi's good, drinks are good, and the customer service was really great. Everything about it, I can't think of one downside. It's definitely a place to visit for lunch. If you want to try for dinner, I have not seen it at night. I would love to see some pictures if you decide to visit at night. I want to see what that vibe is like, but I loved it for the daytime. It's so relaxing, and I'm definitely bringing friends here whenever they're in town. The second location is Haven Rooftop. They're actually in the same hotel as Sushi Lab. It is in the Sanctuary Hotel. I did not realize that when I had booked these 2 reservations, but it was still a great experience. The views are better than Sushi Lab because it's on a higher floor. So I love the views so much more. The vibe, it's still great. It's not as intentionally decorated as Sushi Lab, but it doesn't have to be with those views. It looks great. Customer service is great. The food was not as enjoyable for me personally. I feel like that's a toss-up. When you get a rooftop, a lot of these places, they give you such great views that the food is sometimes lackluster, and you get what you pay for, but the drinks are on point, and the vibe, it's a daytime or nighttime vibe. It is so pretty to see everything around you, and it's the clearest view that you could ask for. It's so pretty, so pretty. I definitely recommend coming here for drinks before going to dinner, or whenever we have theaters. These are both in the theater district, and this is definitely something to visit. So my drink that I recommend at Haven Rooftop was the Cloudtini. I love lychee martinis. Love. So that's definitely the drink I recommend. Third place is Le Grand Boucherie in Midtown. They have multiple locations, so I do want to clarify. This is the one in Midtown. I think it's on 53rd. I will link all of these places down below. But it's so Paris. First of all, I love a secret location. Like when it's a restaurant that has a secret location, it's so entertaining. It's like it elevates the whole experience for you because you know you're someplace that people can't easily find. And I'm all about that. I love that whole speakeasy. It's not a speakeasy, but a whole secret behind the scenes vibe. So this location is in the middle of an alley. It's completely heated. You do not feel the outside weather at all, but it is just so pretty. When I say it's like walking into Paris and you forget you're in New York, who needs to pay for a plane ticket? Who? It was just so pretty. So pretty. I walked in and you see these high ceilings with these beautiful lights, and you see this big bar in the back. Granted, nobody's at the bar, it's COVID, but it's the way they have it set up with everybody's own particular glass enclosure. It makes it feel more intimate in such a grand setting. I love this place. I love this place. Maybe because I have Paris dreams. It's quite possible. I loved the food, the drinks, they were so creative. I had flowers in my drinks, guys. I had the rose, I forgot what it was, the rose martini or something like that. And they had little floating roses and little floating flowers. And I was all about that. The burger was great. That's what I had. And it was so pretty. As far as the whole customer service experience at Le Grand Boucherie, they are very busy. And it is definitely something to give yourself time to be there. And it's not by any fault of their own. The customer service was great. It's just that they are a little bit busier than the other 2 locations I mentioned previously. Next on the list is Buddakan. Okay, so let me clarify. It's a well-known restaurant here in New York City, pre-2020, and now it's still so popular. It is definitely always gonna be a destination. The thing is that I've seen it before and I've seen it now. I loved the whole vibe of the high ceilings and this really grand, I'm noticing a pattern here, and like really grand dining. But I really did enjoy it. It's the whole ambiance. So I went into this whole thing very skeptical. I'm like, how are they gonna make this a very vibey dining experience? I really didn't know what to expect because I was such a big fan before, and I was like, we'll see. We'll see if you can live up to my expectations and my memories. But they actually did. I was so surprised. Okay, so it's not a grand dining experience like before, but I was okay with that. They made it a whole vibe. It was just a whole vibe. So they made it seem like you're in the middle of Chinatown, and it's so cultural. There are these hanging lanterns, and the heat comes out of these little I don't know how you call them, the gray pipes, the HVAC pipe things. Well, that's where the heat comes out of. And the food is still great. The food is never gonna change. By the way, I totally recommend going for a brunch because they do have a dim sum brunch special, and it's like really cool to share. You get to try a whole bunch of different options that way. That's how I recommend it. I just loved the fact that it really took a step into the culture, into the Asian culture, and I was such a fan. I really enjoyed it. This is another place that is very busy. You see, with Le Grand Boucherie, I knew they were gonna be busy, and they still had like pretty good timing, you know? The thing with Buddakan is I felt like I didn't see my waitress for a while. and then all of a sudden, in the middle of like me waiting, usually one server will come up to you and say, oh, okay, this is the end of my shift. No, the other waitress just disappeared, and then I just saw a new one. So I'm not completely sold on the customer service, but it wasn't bad enough for me not to go again. I'm pretty sure it was just a one-off. Last place on this list is La Casa Femme, and it was such a vibe. I had just discovered this place like 3 days before on Instagram, and it was so vibey. If you're gonna make reservations for Valentine's Day or Valentine's weekend anywhere in the city, I completely highly recommend this place. It was so good. It was so good. So this is a very Middle Eastern Egyptian dining menu. I loved it. I got the lamb kebab platter thing, and I just had some tea, and the decorations completely take you to a different place. This is one place where you could take it for lunch, you could take it for dinner, because I went during the day, so I can't testify to what their night vibe is like, but I imagine there was so much lighting there when I went, and so much uplighting and so much mood lighting. I'm imagining that it's equally as gorgeous as at night. So completely recommend it, try it. All of these places on my list are places that I would highly recommend. Word to the wise, make reservations. Do not just show up to any of these places, okay? And if you like this video or want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and comment on what you'd like to see in the future.